Hello and welcome to Animated Wonders, an Explosion Network podcast where we celebrate animation in all of its forms. This is Animated Wonders. In this season, we'll be discussing all the films in the Toy Story franchise. Hello, my name is Blight. Joining me to wrap up this discussion of all the Toy Story films is Ashley Hobley.
Hey Dylan, excited to be here to, wrap up everything. Buzz Lightyear, Woody, Jesse, Pam, Rex.
Keep going.
Mrs. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head.
I'll stop you
Man.
there.
Okay.
To recap, of course, on this series, we've watched Toy Story, Toy Story 2, Toy Story 3, Toy Story 4, Lightyear, the shorts and specials of Toy Story Toons, plus Toy Story of Terror and Toy Story The Time to Forgot, and then finally, of course, Toy Story 5, which just released. So, time for some reflection. How do you think all the Toy Story films hold up along this rewatch?
I think they held up very well outside of, watching them back to back, the animation quality going up significantly, but I think they're still fantastic, rewatchable films. Like, not a bad one amongst the bunch. It's weird that is this pinnacle, like this foundational piece of like animation history because of it being the first computer animated film, and obviously that shaping animation and movie making in general for the next 20 years. So I think they all hold up really well, and all really strong stories, strong characters. They've been able to retain their cast and all that kind of stuff. So I think as a whole, it's still really good.
Yeah, I don't think there's a bad one amongst the bunch. I think the only thing, I guess, as far as like rewatchable series, we've seen them all before, so maybe you notice the animation quality, especially between 1 and then 2 and then 2 and then 3 sort of onwards, grow and change. But I don't think it's a negative because you sort of expect it. I would wonder if do you reckon kids would care? I don't know. Like if a 6, 7-year-old, whatever, goes watch this now.
The first time, yeah.
The first time is the first one too harsh?
No, I don't think so. I think that kids that age don't really care. They're not going to be like snobby about, look at that character design. There's not enough pixels on there. There's not enough fibers on Woody's shirt for me to see that I'm going to get upset about.
Yeah.
I feel like the character designs of the time were like so helpful in, it being kind of timeless. Like they were reasonably simplistic outside of the human models, that you get away with, it not looking as lifelike as it does now.
Yeah. Just a weird looking dog.
Just a weird looking dog. But, in real life, there's weird looking dogs.
There's weird looking dogs. It's true. Very true. Did your thoughts on any of the films change on the rewatch?
Yeah, I think, as we discussed when we talked about the film, I think I was more appreciative of Toy Story 4 on this rewatch. Like, just at the time. And it may be the same story with Toy Story 5 if we ever go back around or I revisit it in the future, but I feel like at the time I was a little bit like, this doesn't hold up. This isn't quite up to stuff as much as the other ones. And on this rewatch, greater appreciation for what that movie was doing and that kind of stuff, So
I don't know if anything changed. I think I liked 4 when I watched it. I think I liked it more. So I don't know if that's a change. I would say I think I liked 3 a lot more. 2 and 3 are obviously the ones that people
love, yeah.
That love the most, and I think I grew, my appreciation for 3 probably grew more along this rewatch. Not to say I didn't already like it, but I think I sort of got there a bit more. Yeah. What was the film character, etc. moment, whatever you want to just anything really, that you liked more on the rewatch, and then what was something, a thing, a character, a film, a moment, whatever that you liked less?
Oh, I don't know, probably Woody's send-off in Toy Story 4. Like, I think that hit harder just because maybe watching them all back to back like that, it's like you saw his entire journey in the lead up to that. Like less. I don't know. I don't think I liked anybody less on this rewatch. Yeah. Yeah, nobody's springing to mind. What about
I
you?
like that dog less.
I mean, yeah, because
It gets uglier and
like-
uglier.
maybe I didn't like Sid as much as I once did, Yeah, he is a bad kid, annoying kid. Even worse than when you're a kid, he's like, oh, that's the mean kid down the road. Now you're an adult, you're like, fucking annoying kid, just blowing up all these things that his parents buy for him, wasting all this money, ruining the backyard, like with all these explosives and stuff.
Also, I already liked Forky, but I think I liked Forky more. Went from being a funny character to just an absolute realization of adult anxieties.
He just became more and more relatable the more you think about it.
Yeah. So
asking the hard questions: why am I alive? Why do
why
I?
Am I? Well, yeah. Speaks right to my heart. Yeah. What do you think of the core themes that the Toy Story films tackle?
Existence. Why are we here? No. I've said throughout this, I feel like this is like a parenting story, like constantly. And especially these last few films, it's been about accepting that your time with your children, the time that your children are your children is limited. And you should appreciate it while it's there and not waste that time, but also accepting that people move away and are going to move on with their lives, that no relationship can and will ever be forever. I feel like that is weirdly what these movies are about, but also stories about friendship and accepting others who aren't built the same way that you are, and overcoming jealousy and change. I think like accepting change is like a massive part of this series. So I think those are the themes that struck or have stayed with me as we've done this rewatch.
It's like, if I was trying to narrow it down to 3, I guess it would be growing up, friendship, and family as one, I guess. Growing up, friendship, family. Time. Yeah, as broad as that is.
Yeah.
Time. How do you think the animation technology's evolved over time alongside the films?
Obviously, it's exponentially improved. Like, you look at Woody in the first film and then look at Woody in this latest one. He's
bold.
Crazy. He's bold. He's a little bit bloated in the middle.
Yep.
The I don't know, the stuffing has gotten a little bit hard, expanded a little bit, and all that kind of stuff. But the fact that we got, like I said in the 5 review, like this girl with curly black hair, like, and it looks incredible. And in the first film, they're like avoiding looking at humans as much as humanly possible. I think the animation style it's just because the technology has improved leaps and bounds since that first film. So
yeah, it's just the consistent evolution of the same technology, I guess. Toy Story is sort of the consistent benchmark as every 10 years or whatever it comes out. It's like, here's where computer generated animation is at now, and it's sort of viewed as the the benchmark for modern animation. I think every time a new one comes out. Not to say that other things don't look good or aren't trying different things, but Toy Story, because it's kept obviously the same art direction and style, it is a good way that you can sort of track along such a long, and literally because it's there at the creation and is the creator, is this interesting way you can just track how technology grows and changes and improves the same characters, same walking style, same whatever, dogs go from looking ugly to looking like actual animals, but also dogs go from walking weird to walking like actual animals, so it all changes. Pick the two. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead. Who do you think the Toy Story series of films is made for now?
I think it is still aimed at children, but still heavily with themes for adults, I think. And that I feel like that is mostly because the filmmakers involved are like putting in stuff that resonates for them. It's not purely focused at kids. I think there's definitely levels to every single one of these films. So it's like a broad spectrum.
Yeah, I definitely feel like they're still being generally targeted towards kids as far as the fun and whimsical characters and stories or whatever, but especially across the last couple films, it feels like the themes are more targeted towards adults rather than the earlier themes revolving more around friendship and acceptance and whatnot, which are more good themes and ideas to teach kids. Whereas I do feel like the more recent ones are sort of thematically more targeted towards adults.
Yes.
So still made for everyone, I guess is the answer, but also
they've got to keep their core audience who are watching the films when they first came out.
Yeah.
The first film,
All right, now pick the two elements of the entire Toy Story series that stand out the most to you. Animation, visual style, music and sound design, voice performances, world building, emotional impact.
Oof. Really difficult because all of them are like weirdly this franchise, like all of them are key. All of them are kind of iconic to like
degree,
foundational. All you pull one, if you mess up one of these elements, it's not going to feel like a Toy Story movie. But I'll have to go animation, visual style, just because I feel like obviously it's so heavily tied to its animation, like so heavily tied to it being the original computer generated or computer animated film. And I feel like that is a core essential thing. I think the second one I would have to go with is probably world building, just because they created this entire world of toys being alive and like setting up all the rules and like set up. Then they're able to build all these different locations and places that toys are. And every time, just all these different fun toy characters, I think, and them able to get all these licenses and everything, I think, for different things, that would probably just eke over the other three.
So I'll go animation, visual style for the same reasons as you. Obviously, creator, trendsetter, whatever, innovator, goes along, beautiful, consistently. I'm going to go emotional impact, though, for the second one. Although I do agree that, yes, you could pick anything along the way. But the story and the different beats and the fact that consistently people talk about how much Toy Story 3 nearly wrecked them and, when they were younger and, just the film consistently evolves on different ideas and themes and still manages to hit people across them. Testament to, I think, the writing and work they do across all the films. What are your top 3 favorite characters, moments, sequences, whatever across the Toy Story series?
All right, so I've gone top 3 sequences. Well, pretty much, yeah. So number 3, I've got the initial armament sequence from Toy Story 1.
Mhm.
Them going down, see what's happening at the birthday party. I think that's such a great introduction to this world, and setting up like the dynamic and feeling about all the toys and all that kind of stuff, and like how they're able to get around kids and all that. It's just a great setup to the world. Number 2 is the airport conveyor belt sequence in Toy Story 2, I think. But just because it was such a big jump and what they did. Like, it's a greatly put together sequence, choreographed really well, despite there being all these crazy objects going here, there, and everywhere. It all makes sense and you can follow it along easily, with a great climax at the end. And then my number 1 is Andy Says Goodbye. The emotional moment that breaks me every time. Yeah, I think the emotional peak of the series. So those are my 3.
I've gone 3 moments, scenes, whatever, as well. However, mine is sort of a bit all over the place. So number 3, I've gone the claw, because whenever it's like key Toy Story scene that is consistently just like if I see a claw machine anywhere, it's just you just say it. It's one of those lines you can just say about thinking. And most people know obviously what you're talking about. If you go the claw, and everyone's like Toy Story. That's so that. So then around the plane chase in Toy Story 2, which is basically the inspiration for Fast and Furious 5. But I mean that was really good. Obviously you got you've got Woody, Bullseye, Jesse inside, all the everyone's racing along, high speed plane. There's a lot going on there. Sets up the scale and everything. And then I've gone Goodbye Woody in Toy Story 4.
Yeah.
That's my number 1.
That tracks,
yeah. All right. Ranking and awards time. So, firstly, let's get our Toy Story film rankings, including Lightyear, but not including the shorts we watched, out of the way. Please give me your list from worst to best.
Okay, at number 6 is Lightyear.
Yeah,
just because it feels tangential, and I don't think it's bad by any means. It's definitely not up to the rest of the films. Number 5, fittingly, Toy Story 5. This could just be the recency of it, and it holding these other ones up so high. Number 4, I think the original Toy Story. Still a really good movie, but it's there. Toy Story 4 is at number 3. And then Toy Story 2 at 2, and Toy Story 3 at number 1 for me.
Why's number 3 the best?
I know. I feel like it's a time and place thing, as well as it just being such a greatly animated film. It's such a big jump forward animation-wise. The story was really fantastic. Just the story of all these people moving on. I feel like the other ones have kind of repeated a little bit of the themes and all that kind of stuff from Toy Story 3. But yeah, just the world, there's like 3 or 4 highly emotional scenes and all that kind of stuff. Some fun action sequences and that kind of thing. The Great Escape kind of vibes to it in there as well. So yeah, that's why it's number 1 for me.
Our lists are very similar. So Lightyear, obviously, it's the worst of the bunch. It's just such a average. It's fine. It's fine. The rest of the movies are at least good. It's fine. Toy Story 5. I don't think it's recency bias. I just think, maybe it'll change over time. Again, I'm not saying it's bad, but is it as good as the rest? Don't think so. Toy Story, first one, still classic. However, pales in comparison to the next 3, I think. So then I've got Toy Story 2, which is used to be was my favorite growing up was always Toy Story 2.
Yeah.
Then I've gone Toy Story 4, and then Toy Story 3. So we can agree that Toy Story 3 is the best one.
Wow.
Yes.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah, you thought I was going to put 4, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. Obviously I love 4, but as we've sort of gone on about, but I do think that Toy Story 3 is the all in all best of the bunch. It's has hits on as far as like what a Toy Story movie is, like especially the story beats or whatever and characters and stuff like that. Like 3 sort of is, and then 4 and 5 are completely different, I think, structurally. But it's like 3 has the same structure as the 2 previous somewhat, and is the best of that Toy Story magic, I think, is the main reason. It's just like gives you all the characters, all the beats, all the moments, all the heart, all the nearly killing the characters and making little kids scarred for life into these great moments. Yeah. All right. Some 4 other awards. Which one do you think has the best story?
I've gone the original Toy Story just because it does have to do the building of the world, introduction of the characters, and I think the basic, basic thematically, like story of a toy being jealous of this new friend that its owner has and that kind of stuff, and like it's very relatable. And then like the story of them coming back together and becoming friends, I think is foundational to the series. So I'm going to go with that one for this category.
I run Toy Story 3.
Okay.
Because it is I think just the culmination of all of the elements. Also, by the time you get to Toy Story 3, you've got the introduction of, it's like Jessie has already been set up properly and she gets a better story, and Buzz. It's like the 2 movies, Toy Story 1 introduces Buzz, Toy Story 2 introduces Jessie, Toy Story 3 sort of, they're there, they're solidified, you get better story for all of our 3 main characters, Woody, Buzz, and Jessie across that one. Which one do you think has the best animation?
I think Toy Story 5 has the best animation. And that is probably pure tech. Like, it's naturally going to look better now. That's just how the way all computer graphic films, games, all are. Like, they can push it further now, so they do push it further. I also think the introduction of the differing art style with the play imagination scenes, I think, makes it pop and makes it feel a little bit different and a little bit more visually impressive. So, plus the pig and the horse look incredible.
True. I went Toy Story 4 because I don't, at least in my mind, maybe. Now we've obviously rewatched these recently, so there's somewhat I can think close. But I'm like, I don't think there's as big as a jump between 4 and 5. So now I'm just sort of picking between moments and scenes, and I still just think about the carnival stuff, lighting and all that. I think about having more adult human characters, like first introduced in 4, like the full family and stuff. I know we get human characters in 4, obviously, as well, but just like the standout, the 5. Sorry, we got this 5. And then I think about just little shots like Woody and Forky walking down that highway road, and like thinking about how good that looks and stuff like that. So I'm sort of picking between hairs.
5 has all the high tech buzz scenes, like
it's true.
Going around. There's that scene where the crane is going up above the clouds and all that kind of stuff, and they're looking for the North Star. That looked incredible. And then the fucking drone show that they have at the end,
It's true.
It's really good.
What was the most emotional film?
Toy Story 3, hands down, easily. And it is very much a time and place. Like you know, just old enough to understand where Andy was at the time you watched it, saying goodbye to friends and family. Like having to grow up more, say goodbye to childish things. Like hits you right in the heart. And then that's just the ending. I mean, the scene where they could all potentially die and they just start holding hands in this Holocaust situation. Rough.
Yeah, I think it's less a most emotional film, or which film do you find the most emotional? I guess so. Obviously, I've gone Toy Story 4.
Yep.
Was my pick. This is just which one do you find? Which
If I'm
film
breaking
emotionally
up.
resonates for you the most? And I've obviously talked about how it was 4 for me, but this is a time and place thing as well. It's like before 4. 10 years ago, the answer would be different. 10 years before that, the answer would be different. 10 years before that, I wasn't born. So there's... Well, hold on. No, that's incorrect. I'd still be born. Most rewatchable film.
This is interesting. So I've put down Toy Story 2. I think it is the most...
I also put down Toy Story 2, so yeah.
I think it is just because while it has its emotion beats, I think it is the most fun. Like, I think it has the most comedy bits. There's a fun adventure with them going to the toy store and all that kind of stuff. It's just an easy watch, but also an enjoyable, like, fun watch.
Yeah, I basically picked it for the exact same reason. I think out of all of them, it's the easiest, most fun watch. If you think about scenes like them crossing the road, and then obviously the showdown with Zurg and stuff, all that. Like, the film is just generally more easily to watch and fun. Not to say the rest are hard to watch or anything, but yeah, I think Toy Story 2. If someone was like, you can only pick one right now, which to put on, I'd be like, I don't know, 2. Like, it's going to come to my head first. Any final thoughts on wrapping up our Toy Story series?
No, I think we've covered most things. I think it's just very interesting, like, because of it being the first computer-generated film. It's like, I think we said it when we were talking about the first film. Like, it's crazy to think what the medium would be like if this hadn't been the first one. Like, what if Ants had come out first, like a few months earlier? Like, or what if they had made Bugs Life first? Would Toy Story be this as biggest franchise as it is now? I don't know. Like, I suspect it still would be, because Buzz Lightyear was such a cool thing at the time. So that still would have struggled to have. They still would have had kids wanting to have their own Buzz Lightyears, and like, A Bug's Life doesn't really have that same, commercial element to it. The fact that we haven't got a sequel to that 20-something years, says a lot. But I mean, this is the film that built Pixar and built this medium. So I think, I think it's interesting. Obviously, with this latest film, people are saying there's franchise fatigue and that kind of stuff, but I think there's still potentially more they can do with it going forward.
Yeah, do you think we'll get another one?
I think so. I think at least something under the Toy Story branding or within the universe. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a classic, quote unquote, Toy Story film where it's Woody, Buzz, and Jessie. Like, I don't know if you can force those characters together again in the same way that they have in this last one. But I think it's just too rich of a world to not go back to. And obviously, I haven't seen. I suspect we're recording this like the weekend of the movie coming out, so box office wise, I'm sure it's doing a bunch of money. So it's a smart decision to keep making them. It's just finding the right way to continue it going forward, that kind of stuff. So
we hope you've enjoyed this episode of Animated Wonders. Let us know what you thought of the film on social media at explosionnetwork.com/follow. If you enjoyed the show, you can find more podcasts, reviews, and pop culture coverage over at explosionnetwork.com. And if you'd like to support the podcast and Explosion Network, head on over to explosionnetwork.com/support. Until the next episode, remember that animation is cinema.